This is a place where legends are born. Mountains scrape the sky, forests hide forgotten things, and two wolves watch over everything. A storm had been building over the northern cliffs for hours. When the ranger station first got the call, a hiker had seen what looked like a child's shoe dangling near an outcrop far from any marked trail. One older and coal-gray, a scar across his muzzle, like a line drawn by the wild itself, and the other younger. And though he flinched when the older wolf approached, didn't scream, only looked up with the vacant eyes of someone who'd already said goodbye to the world. The wolves didn't touch him at first. Instead, they lay down on either side of him, pressing their bodies against his to block the wind, it read. For the ones who watched over him when we could not. And beneath it, etched in the wood by an unknown hand, were three shapes. Two wolves, one boy. For weeks after the rescue, Elias spoke very little. Not because he couldn't, but because he didn't want to. The world he'd returned to felt too loud, too full of questions. No one really wanted answers to. Why had he gone up there alone? How had he gotten tied up? Who would do something like that to a child? But Elias only looked out the hospital window toward the distant ridges and whispered stories to himself about the wolves who had stayed when everyone else had left. Their breath warming the boy's freezing skin as the younger one began to gnaw gently at the cord, slowly working it, loose, not chewing to harm but to set free. Sleek, silent, a silver flash in the dark packmates from the Echo Ridge wilderness, rarely seen, never caught. But tonight they moved with purpose, ears twitching, tails stiff, drawn not by hunger, but by a sound not meant for human ears. The softest whimper carried on the wind. The team had already been combing the area for a missing boy named Elias, 9 years old, missing for 3 days. They had found nothing but shattered branches and a few muddy footprints leading toward the unforgiving spine of the mountain. By the time the storm cracked open and rain poured like punishment, the team had no choice but to suspend the search until morning. But high above where any human had dared climb that night, two wolves moved through the storm. They found the boy near a stone drop, slick with moss, his wrists tied cruelly with plastic cord to the trunk of a dead tree. His body limp, clothes soaked and torn, hair matted to his face. By morning, the boy was found unconscious, but alive, curled between the two wolves as if he'd always belonged there. And when the medics who lifted him said he shouldn't have survived, not after 3 freezing nights, not with injuries like that, Elias, when he finally woke in the hospital days later, said only this: the moon sent them. They stayed until I wasn't scared anymore. While doctors called it a miracle and reporters spun stories of instincts and luck, those who looked closer saw, on the moor, a child who had been thrown away and found not by humans but by the wild, by creatures who owed him nothing and saved him anyway. And in the mountains where legends are born, a small wooden sign was later nailed to the trail's edge. Investigators circled, asked hard questions, but Elias gave them only fragments: the name of a man with rough hands, a car that smelled like gasoline,